So you clearly spend a lot of time thinking about growth, execution, and how teams make a better decision. And so what is what originally pulled you into this space?
Yeah, great question. So I actually started within enterprises my career. So I worked with Allianz Insurance and Philips Electronics from their global headquarters across Europe. And after that, kind of being a little bit bored in the bigger corporations. I had my own agency for about a decade. It grew into a group of companies. We had publishing platform, different brands, and an
Wow.
agent arm that I led as well. And after being like in a service industry as well, you have like scale challenges.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today's podcast is all about how business stay competitive as AI changes the way digital grows and the customer acquisition work. I'm Karajan Ilgar, founder where we focus on practical tool and automation to help business run more efficiently. And I'm glad here be joined by Marina Burushkina, CEO and founder from Growth Channel. Growth Channel is focused on helping startups, agency, enterprise to launch and optimize digital campaign across multiple channels with a lot less complexity. So today we're going to talk about what's changing in AI-driven growth, how company can stay competitive as market gets more crowded, and what it takes operationally to scale without creating chaos. Marina, really glad to have you on today.
Thank you, Kaderjan. Really excited to be here and share more on your podcast.
Awesome. Awesome. Before we get into the company itself, right, I always like to start something more like personal, right? So you clearly spend a lot of time thinking about growth, execution, and how teams make a better decision. So what originally pulled you into this space?
Yeah, great question. So I actually started within enterprises my career. So I worked with Allianz Insurance and Philips Electronics from their global headquarters across Europe. And after that, kind of being a little bit bored in the bigger corporations. I had my own agency for about a decade. It grew into a group of companies. We had publishing platform, different brands, and an
Wow.
agent arm that I led as well. And after being like in a service industry as well, you have like scale challenges. So when we were 76 people, we were like, I was getting a little bit after 10 years of running the service business, also like tired and looking into more scalable opportunities. So this is when I also got more interested into tech and I
Hmm.
started advising a few startups and then decided to build my own technology for marketing execution of campaigns. So, and then applying all the knowledge from startups, from enterprises and agency side of business into an actual platform.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think that's going to lead to my next question about what the story is. Was there any moment you realize that, the real problem is not just about media buying, but it's all the workflow complexity around it?
Yeah, I mean, there are more challenges to that than just this. It sounds so simple when you say it, but yes, actually, when I was at Philips, we had lots of different campaigns running like every other week. And, we were running many different channels, working with different vendors, and then we were collating different reports together into a single spreadsheet, into a single presentation, trying to get all the learnings in place. And it was a very manual process. And
Hmm.
then to like launch your next campaign, etc. So this is kind of was the pivotal moment for me when I like started taking my notes, on the iPhone
Yes.
while I was commuting and really trying to understand, okay, how we can, rely on the data that we already have and automate some of these processes. So instead of managing spreadsheets and presentations and like doing more and more workshops to figure out what we're going to do with all this data, we can actually automate this process. And this was pre AI,
Yes.
at least pre ChatGPT, not pre AI,
Yeah.
but like pre public AI, because
Yes.
AI
Yeah,
has
absolutely.
been here for a while. It's just that, it wasn't as adopted on a massive scale before.
Yeah. ChatGPT blow everything up. So yeah, awesome. Cool. So, thanks for the, for the, sharing this. Today, I know Growth Channel sit on an interesting intersection of AI, growth, execution. Publicly, you talked a lot about helping teams plan better, launch faster, manage campaigns across multiple channels from one place, right? So I love to talk about the three things, right? What What do you think companies are getting wrong right now about growth and AI? Secondly, what's don't worry about I'm gonna repeat asking separately, but this is just gonna give so because framing this call, right? So second is what are you seeing changes in the market? And then thirdly, what is really takes operationally to stay competitive as a company grow, right? So my first question is, so growth channels seems to be around the, very clear pinpoint. I know a few companies that I know my friends work there, it's around a similar idea, right? So you are on a very kind of your focus built around a very clear pain, right? So marketers juggle too many platforms, channels, reporting workflow, right? So what did you see earlier that made you to believe that was a right problem to go after?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, advertising is very broad
Yeah.
industry, and it's kind of a subsector within marketing as well, right?
Yes.
So at Growth Channel, we actually narrow down a lot on programmatic media. So think about like streaming TV, streaming audio, digital out of home, display ads. And we chose this specific vertical within advertising and overall within marketing in general
Yeah.
because when you want to run ads on these more premium channels, oftentimes you either need to have bigger budgets or you need to like sign lots of agreements, commitments, you need to negotiate. And so the process is a lot like either it's manual or you need to have lots of
Yes.
or you have access and you don't need lots of money, but then you don't have as many controls on like who you're targeting or how you're going to measure the results. So there's always like either or. So there hasn't been a lot of solutions in the market to really give you the access,
Yes.
but also keep you in control of the situation and be able to actually measure the results and optimize those campaigns. Because the stereotype is programmatic media is not for performance.
Mm.
So at Growth Channel, we are basically tackling this exact problem. We are making programmatic media performant
Mhm.
with CTV, audio, display channels, like in-game channels. So any programmatic media that you have either on the open web or walled gardens, like gardens are considered like, let's say, Walmart or things like Netflix, Spotify, some more like Twitch. Twitch is pretty cool. Amazon
Yeah.
Prime. So those are more like walled gardens or like open web is like advertising on CNN or Fox News, or you may want to get ads on Wired. So things of that nature.
Awesome. Awesome. So you served startups, agency, and enterprises, right? So that's a broad range. How have you thought about building something that stay clear and useful across very different kinds of teams?
Yeah. So we started when we initially launched, we were, trying to still see who is going to have the biggest problems and who we can give the most value to.
Yeah.
So we worked a lot with like smaller businesses and startups in the beginning. I would say we kind of pivoted a little bit away from that segment as we went along. And now most of our clients or users on the platform are actually agencies like media buyers,
Mhm.
performance marketers within agencies who then run ads for their clients who are advertisers. We usually also have access to on the platform, but they're more like look at reports, right? And the agencies usually run the ads for them. So we have kind of this partnership level go to market strategy,
Mhm.
which is what we focus on a lot. But we also do have some more like brands and enterprises on the platform too. And yeah, if they want to sign up, like it's pretty easy to sign up and go. But yeah, we like to have partnerships with agencies because then they can also give strategy and executional help to their clients as a service. And that way we stay focused on the tech and the platform.
Awesome. Seems like pretty kind of organic, natural kind of progress, right? Startup, agency, of course, the big monies with the big enterprises and all that. So I think that's cool. And publicly, the platform now span go-to-market planning, personas, and content support, and omni-channel campaigns execution, right? Was that always a vision, or kind of honestly, it's pretty obvious to me because I've worked with a lot of startups, but so what was that always a vision, or did customer pull you into that kind of direction?
Yeah. So I would say we have lots of features in the platform that were customer driven that we
Yeah.
haven't really thought about. But like the bigger vision kind of stayed on track. But I would say the details have shifted around a little bit. So in the beginning, we really wanted to like look at all your data points and, identify the best strategies and then activate on those strategies and have those measurable reports. As a startup, that's a lot to
Yes.
take in. So then
Yes.
we had to like narrow it down a little bit more. We narrowed it down initially on just like the planning module, and then there were still like lots of moving pieces. Then we were hearing from clients that the personas and the audiences was the most valuable piece for them. So we doubled
Hmm.
down on that. And then we wanted to increase our retention and really user activity within the platform. So we're like, okay, let them use these audiences for the next step. And then there are lots of marketing channels. So then I kind of told you how we landed on the programmatic specifically, and we kind of stayed there. Although
Hmm.
we have been, we also launched meta ads about a year ago, and it's in our late beta stage right now. So we are testing out also adding social ads as an element, because within social ecosystem, like it's really hard to right now, especially like target very specific users or like people on social channels. So with your audiences, with the personas that you build, you're going to reach the same people while they watch TV and then while they scroll on their phone in front of their TV at the same time. So it brings that extra value.
Interesting, interesting. This is like a kind of off kind of topic, but a lot of companies that I know them about is, they initially start with like a meta ads, social media ads, then grow to other way. But your startup is like more like a traditional advertisement, like a TV and all that stuff, and now going to the media. Is that right? I mean, like a social media advertisement. Is that right?
Well, we are want to add value to our users on programmatic media. So brands and agencies who tend to be on programmatic media channels, they tend to have bigger budgets and they have
Mm,
tend to have
I
bigger
see.
problems as well. Because on social media and Google, it's easy access, right? You
Yes.
can get access to them right away, and they must probably already running the like Google ads and Meta ads have built their business over a few decades now. They have invested billions of dollars into their ad tech. So we as a startup most probably cannot make it much better than it already is, right?
I
I would
see.
say no startup can, even if they say they do. What we do is we are an extra layer for programmatic media, and we don't reinvent programmatic media neither, but we help it make it more performant and more efficient, because in performance happens oftentimes when you want to optimize A across B across C, etc., right? So with our platform, you can optimize across multiple like demand side platforms called DSPs for those who are running programmatic ads. So in this case, with Gross Channel, it's pretty unique because almost no other platform does that. And it really helps you identify where performance sits, being it CTV or display or online video campaigns. Like there are lots of different nuances. So for example, like YouTube ads, right? Like if
Yeah.
you want a higher view rate, Google Ads view rate for YouTube is better than if you go to like DV360. But then if you want to have more reportable data, like you want to see more like videos where your ads ran or more channels where your ads ran, or was it pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll, etc. If that data is more valuable, then you should get a DV366 because this is where you'll get the data. So like there are lots of these nuances, and with Gross Channel you have instant access to all of the different platforms, and also you can stay performant to your KPIs. So our engine is more like a performance layer on top.
Makes sense. Awesome. Cool, cool. And one thing that stood out to me is that, the value isn't framed only as like a better targeting or better ROS, ROS, ROAS, right? So there's also a lot of operational value in your messaging, saving time, reducing manual work, and speed up the launch, was that always the center of this?
No, I wouldn't say it was always the center. I think initially it was more about like understand your audience better was the
Mhm.
initial one where we started. But then as we launched the activation module, it was more about like really reaching out, like reaching those personas, reaching those audiences. And in advertising market, like I would say it's pretty crowded. Like there's like thousands of solutions out there. Everyone wants to get your advertising budget essentially. So it's more about like also hearing from our clients and our users, like what makes them love Growth Channel versus any other platform they tried before. And these are some of the things that they mentioned so that we kind of keep on iterating on that value prop.
Awesome. So there's a customer story where a new media advisors saw a lower campaign cost, faster setup, and less time spending stitching report together. Right? What do you think companies usually underestimate about the operational side of the growth?
Yeah. Well, one of the things about running ads with Growth Channel in this specific case study was around audience data. So they can build audiences much faster in Growth Channel and they don't need to, go to multiple platforms to like build audience and then activate those audiences. They can do it all inside Growth Channel and just launch directly. So that was one for this specific case study. And then the second one, it's pretty simple to launch programmatic media campaign, even for folks that have never done programmatic media before. Like, I don't know
Hmm?
if you ever ran Hulu ads in your life, but like
Yes.
it must probably take like 5 minutes or so if you
Awesome.
already your ad to like launch it on Growth Channel. So it's pretty simple. Set up an easy UX. So we make it super easy for you to launch, but also to like manage and optimize the campaigns. So then it doesn't take too much of the overhead from agency or in-house marketing teams.
Awesome. So, when you look at the market right now, right? What feels most different? I mean, kind of most different from like 6 months to 12 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very difficult question because in the startup world, it's like yesterday was a very long time ago.
Different, exactly. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, let me think what was like 12 months ago. I don't
I
even
mean,
remember.
just a little hint. Of course, what I'm going to is because AI disrupted things tremendously, right?
Yeah, we have more AI employees now at
That's
Growth.
it.
I mean, like we have
That,
we're growing, I think, one AI employee every other week or so.
yes.
In like 6 weeks, we got three AI like bots in our Slack doing different things. So yeah, that's most probably one, but it's like very recent. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm 12 months ago. Oh my God.
Yes, long time ago, right? Exactly. I mean,
But yeah, we have our platform at Growth Channel, we are pretty nuanced around like multi-location campaigns. So we work a lot with like retailers or franchises that have
mhm,
multiple locations, and usually they have like local budgets or like local creatives, local websites or Facebook pages, etc. So within our platform, we have a feature called like essentially like bulk campaign management.
mhm,
So within the bulk campaign management, it's very easy to like set up, manage, and optimize these multi-location campaigns. And we really kind of narrowed down to that, I would say around 6 to 12 months ago
mhm,
where we saw like our grocery clients have some great success and then we saw more like within like healthcare space we saw more within like hairstylists like and many different industries where the same use case like the same feature essentially has been adopted and seen great success. So we're scaling a lot with like multi-location advertisers like could be retailers as I said, sometimes it's groceries, sometimes it's something else. So I would say this is something that we introduced and really like narrowed down with a lot. And most of our advertisers are in either retail or e-commerce space. So yeah, this has been, I would say, yeah, about 6 to 12 months ago. I'm actually speaking on this exact topic at Possible Miami in like 2 weeks. Um,
uh,
so that will be quite interesting too.
awesome. So, what do you think companies are still approaching AI in a shallow way when it comes to growth. Do you want to talk about this? Is there? I mean, I know what goes. I mean, what's benefit of AI and what's going well. I think we can talk a lot about it, but I mean, for your new perspective, right? Do you see? I mean, do you see any company approaching AI in a shallow when it
Yeah,
comes to
I
growth?
mean,
Yeah.
some companies are either like afraid of experimentation. So, and it could be related to data security. There are lots of challenges there, I would say.
Yep.
So, good
Yeah.
concern.
Yes.
But there are ways to like limit access. There are ways to still like preserve certain access points and like start testing and applying this in some of the workload load as well. There are also companies that help protect the data as well using different LLMs and like sometimes like setting up your own SLM, like small language models, having it on prem helps a lot as well. So there are different solutions to those problems. But yeah, I would say like especially for startups, like if you haven't, I don't think they should have like a lot of that problem. But like if they think that's a problem, they should just like go and use it because otherwise they'll slow their growth and most probably be left behind compared to competitors.
Absolutely. So you recently published on 2026 programmatic trend and on more advanced B2B targeting strategy from your view, right? So what a sophisticated team doing differently today in today that advanced average team is still not.
Yeah. So, I mean, for example, a few weeks ago, I spoke with a marketing team lead at a startup, and yeah, they were still focused a lot on like more traditional channels like email, just mainly email, actually,
Uh,
and LinkedIn. So they weren't like getting creative into reaching clients. I mean, I would say right now, everyone is getting spammed, like
yep.
on email, on LinkedIn. So you have to be kind of creative in ways how you're going to attract attention from your clients. For example, you're doing a podcast. That's a nice
Yes.
way of like attract prospects.
Yes.
So like that's kind of creative, right? It's unconventional. So for example, we are doing a media dinner in Chicago on Wednesday, like
Nice.
attracting a group of people, like trying to like get out of your comfort zone, I guess, and like
Yes.
really try to get creative into how you're going to win the attention of people because everyone's time is becoming more and more valuable. Like, everyone needs to move faster right now, and yet all our inboxes are full of spam. So like
Yes.
how do you stand out, right? So it's quite important right now.
Absolutely. I was talking with another founder like last week, now with AI kind of automating a lot of our life in businesses, all that stuff. At the end, what do we need most? I think it's more like this kind of we need a more human touch, face to face, you know, interaction more because well, a lot of things replaced by AI. All right. So I think that yeah, podcast is nice. Yeah. Okay, I think we have just two more questions left. So as a founder, and I'm shifting gear a little bit, right? As a founder, what's genuinely hard right now about staying competitive in this category?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I would say as a founder, we always like juggle multiple things, right? So it's like, where do we prioritize and put our time? So, I mean, in advertising space is also pretty crowded.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't have the perfect answer to this question. I'm just prioritizing based on like sales, investors, and then the third one is usually like marketing. And then,
Yes.
so this is kind of my priority letter.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. I know you've done strong building around a real workflow problem as a company grows. What part gets harder to keep smooth internally?
Yeah. This is a very like good question because as the company grows, you have like new problems to
Yes.
solve. So I would say let's go back to 12 months. 12 months ago, like, our team started growing a lot more. So I feel like we
Mhm.
almost doubled in size or something like this. Like we started to have like, okay, how do we make teams work together?
Yeah.
Before it was like just like people
Just
talking
get the okay. Yes.
just get stuff done, yeah, and now it's like there are different teams, and they're, like, kinda separately, like, working.
Yes.
How do you get them to, like, work together? without too much chaos, because everyone has their own point of view, their own way of communication, their own priorities sometimes, like internal KPIs for their team, right? Like sales team is looking at the sales results, and like
Yes.
client success team is like retention. So it's like they were like, oh, I need to sell it. Let's do a 30-day campaign. The other team may look like, well, let's do it 6 months campaign. And then they're like, it could be a point of conversation or something like this, right? So it's more about how do you make the teams work well together? And it's really like cross team collaboration.
Hmm.
And sometimes if you have like two senior folks in a single team doing kind of similar-ish role, they may also like have a little bit of a different point of view, and it all slows down the process. So you think more people, faster delivery, but it's actually not the case. So
Yes.
yeah, this is like new challenges in a way of building the team.
Absolutely. When you are smaller, your team is just gonna sit around the table and it gets the job done, right? But now as your team grows, of course, a lot of things to track, separately, also. Cool. Thank you very much. I think we are kind of gone good over time, because thanks for sharing the insights and all your story. It's just amazing. Thank you for this join this call. Looking forward to kind of invite you more for the next episode, in the future talk.
Thank you. Thanks, Katarjan.
This is it for today's podcast. Again, I'm Karajan Ilgar, your host for the Upfounder podcast. And if you find something useful from this video today, please hit subscribe. And every week we bring founders, business owner, operators who in the trench, building stuff, figure things out, and share the insight. This is something that you cannot find around regular blog posts or just by Googling it. See you in the next episode. Bye.